Hey guys, today we're going to do a little walkthrough of the LinkedIn connection extractor and just like a few scenarios of how you can use it. So to start off with, just go into growth hacking and we'll get the LinkedIn contacts extractor. So what this will do is it will check however frequently you want for any new connections that have accepted your connection request. And we can choose how many connections we want to export as a maximum, and when we want to sort by. So in this scenario, like we could sort alphabetically, but we'll sort by recently added instead. And I only like quite a common use case is just to take connections from the past X amount of time. Um, so we can do now, and if we wrap this in a function, in fact, we don't want to do connected after. We can take connections from now. Uh, okay, sorry, this will take yesterday. So the current day today is 19th of December. So this will take from the 18th of December and it will take in our recently added connections since then. I believe that formula is correct. So let's just do a quick test run. Um, in fact, for testing purposes, just because it will take a little bit longer, I'm just going to limit it to only take like 5 connections. And the example's still the same. You can set as many as you want. Um, so this tool is really useful for two things in particular. Um, Number one is for building follow-up sequences rather than having to scrape the connections all the time and check if they've accepted. We can just do it automatically. And the second one is for syncing over connections to your CRM. So each object that you see here is someone who has accepted our connection request. So Sebastian has, and we've got like all of their information. Um, so we could, as an example, like a really easy one will just be to send a message. And we can set this to run like as frequently as we want. So we could have it run once per day, and anyone who accepts our connection request will automatically get like a direct message. So we can just put hi, first name, on LinkedIn, great to connect. So if we run that now, everyone that has accepted our connection request, or the last 5 people, because that's what we've got it set to, within the past 24 hours are going to get a welcome message, which is just like a really easy, simple automation. For example, that's just a little message I've put together, but you can pitch your product, invite them for an introduction call, or whatever your particular scenario may be. Failed on one parameter. Sorry, that's my fault. Let's try that again. Cool, there we go. So it's now running through. So it's now going to visit the first person that has accepted our connection request, which was Sebastian, and Sebastian is going to get a welcome message from us. Great, so that has now gone through. So if you want to go through all of the connections, you'll do something called adding an iterator, which will just go through all of the data. So we can just add result in here. And instead we will paste the profile URL from here and the first name from here, and it will run through all of the results that you receive in a response. I'm just going to filter out that name does not contain Sebastian because we've just sent him a message. So it will just do the other four, and they will all receive a welcome message from us. I can just go into LinkedIn just to show you that it's being sent. So yeah, Sebastian here, who we had in our response, has accepted our connection request. So and we've sent him a message, as you can see here. So the next ones will start coming through now. Yeah, Philip has just got a message from us. So you can see like it's really easy and quite like a nice automation to set up actually, just to have an always automated pipeline of when someone accepts your connection request on LinkedIn, send them a message straight away, no matter what. So you can like messages are still going through, but I think you get the picture. So if we wanted to leave it there and run something like that on our LinkedIn account or on all of our LinkedIn accounts, I would just schedule it to run like once per day, and we can just turn on here, and that will run automatically. Um, so that would be like the first example use case. The next one that we'll go through is, let's say you wanted to sync over all new connection requests to your CRM so that like they're all accessible and your team can reach out to them. So you would start off just by simply selecting your CRM, like whatever CRM you use. I don't actually use any CRM, so I can't give you like a direct example on this, but it's going to be something like create a lead, create a contact, whatever it is for your specific CRM. It's going to be something related to like creating a lead or a contact. But I'll give you an example in Airtable, and like the same principles would still apply. So instead of using Airtable, select your CRM, and it would be like create a contact. In this case, I'm going to do create a record, and they're probably going to have like the default, some default fields like first name, last name, where they work, LinkedIn profile, and so on. So I'll actually just make that structure quickly in Airtable. First name, last name, maybe job title and company. They're the most interesting things that we want. And this can be renamed to LinkedIn profile URL. So then all we would do is, again, if you're doing a CRM, just follow the same principles. LinkedIn URL is going to be from there, first name, last name. A job title as well actually is going to be really interesting for us. Job title. Let me just refresh that. So now they will all be synced over into our database. You can see all that information is coming in. So these are people who've accepted our connection request in the last 24 hours. So that would be like just quite a simple, easy way to do it. We could also look at doing like a full-on profile scrape of each profile, and then enriching their data even further is definitely like not a bad thing to do. So then we could go into getting. I'm just going to change this to 1 just so that the scenario processes faster and we can see what response we get from the API, and we can just like build an automation around that. So response was okay, and now we've got like all this other data on this connection. We know how many connections he's got. We've got information on him there. Growth lead, job title, location, companies. Cool, and we've also got his email. So I'll split this off into like 2 different paths. So we could actually like go and update him as a lead again. So we've got email, company, whatever information would be good, website. Yeah, okay, I think it looks quite good. So I'll just delete all of this so you can just see it happening as a process again. Got his email. Also, we've got his Twitter as well, actually. I guess we could go and follow on Twitter. Company and website. We're going to need to go and scrape the company website from the LinkedIn profile. So now what I'll actually do is split down like 2 paths, because we're going to do 1 path for processing as a company and another one for processing that individual lead. So for example, we could also just send out like a email. Send an email. We've got the recipient's email now, so we could just add in from there, and that will send out an email to the lead. Great to connect. First name. Just as an example, and we can just put in whatever like welcome text we want. I'm going to turn that off though, but because that's purely just for an example. It does not exist. And then if we go down the other path, we can do like growth hacking, company, LinkedIn company extractor. And company URL should be here. So we can go and scrape them as a company, and we could then also do Airtable website analyzer, generally quite a good one. I'm just going to copy it on and manually insert it for now, just so we get the response, just to save time. Sorry, should be in there. I think we've got an issue with Integromat because it's not passing the data through. Okay, let's run it once manually. Sorry, that's why. Because the email, I've put in the wrong email. There we go. I thought that was a little bit strange. I was sending from an email account that wasn't properly connected to Integromat. Cool, so that is now doing profile scraper. And this information is also being like synced over here. cool. Yeah, there we go. Um, I'm just going to input it manually for once again, just to get the output. It doesn't like inputting manually. Okay. So anyway, the information that we'll get from the site is going to be technologies installed and company email, which are also like quite interesting for us. So we'll pull them back into like the central database as well. Anything else? No, okay. I think looking good. Technologies installed. Yeah, cool. So we'll just wait for that to process and then we'll have the final response that we want from the API so we can add that into our structure. Airtable, and we will update a record. Sorry, that should actually be update a record. So yeah, this will be update a record and we'll link it obviously to the same database. Record ID will be the same there, and email we're taking from there, company there, and everything else is coming from before. That can be deleted, and then we can just clone this and put it at the end. And we can put the company website, company email. We didn't get one. They redirected. Okay, it's not a valid website. Well, I guess it's actually good to know that they are redirecting. Condition does not contain Sebastian. Let's hope that the next website we get is actually an active website, but at least that does tell us that that website may not be active anymore, because we can tell that they're redirecting to a website that doesn't use HTTPS, which if they're not using like a secure website, generally means that it's not an active project anymore. Just an easy way to filter out leads. So first bit of information is in there, and now the rest of it should come through now, which it has done. And second lead we're now working on, so that should come through. Cool. Yeah, now we're on to the final part. So once that runs through and I have the structure of the data, what I will do is I will just run through like 50 records just so you can see like this automation working fully. Or not 50 actually, because I'm going to have to scrape all of them. I'll do like 20 and it will take a while, but just so you can see how it actually works and enriches all of the data. Cool. Mm. That's why. Sorry, completely my fault. There wasn't an issue on that. That is now in there. Cool. So now on to the last part. And did we get the correct response this time? Uh, yeah, we did. There we go. But they haven't got a Facebook. Yeah, anyway, it gives us the other stuff. But if there is a Facebook active on the website, LinkedIn, Twitter, or Instagram as well, it will be returned to you in the response. Um, so like you don't necessarily have to watch like the last bit of this video, but I'll just show you how the flow actually looks if we delete all of the information and just start it from scratch. Of course, you like I said, just set this to run every day as well, if you plan on using it.